Alrighty, fellas, yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski, and welcome back to our PokeMMO stream recap, your daily source of tips, tricks, information, and general discussion about what's happening inside the PokeMMO community, the most popular Pokemon MMO out there on the market, thriving, successful, in a little bit of a lull in a lot of ways. We're waiting for the events, we're waiting for an update. The devs have said they're working on temporary incubators, which a lot of people I think have come around to. It's interesting how, like, a lot of these positions, when given more time, people have adapted and changed a little bit. I think almost everybody is against temporary incubators at this point, so it's cool to see. In my, I'm obviously of that position, so it's cool for me, right? It's cool to see that temporary incubators should be coming or reworked or not coming, hopefully. VGC is meant to be coming, and then there's one more. A new shiny hunting method was also talked about. We'd be getting a new shunning method. We never really got that, from my understanding. I think someone asked if I forget if it was chum buckets or incubators. I think it was chum buckets. Someone asked, like, is chum buckets the new method or something like that, and the dev said, like, no, that there was something else that we just didn't get to. So there's a lot of things on the, there's a lot. We're like literally on top, like not on top of the mountain, we're like at the peak of the mountain, boys. We are literally like right about to cross over the mountain. Okay, we're right at the edge of new content, new things to explore. We're just trying to push through and get there, climb over that extra few feet. Okay, but let's get into our typical stream recap, information, news, upcoming catch events. If you don't know, catch events are hosted usually like 3 times a week on average in PokeMMO. These are the staff members of the game hosting events where you can catch Pokemon, make some Pokeyen. Not as much as previously, but make some good Pokeyen, and have a chance for a shiny. A lot of times rare shinies. The shiny prizes right now are really good. The shiny prizes right now are super good. I recommend keeping an eye out for these events that I'm going to be listing through today, because the prizes, the shiny rewards, these catch events are very good. Let's go over it. So, okay, let's just jump into it. Vespiquen / Combee catch event on the 3rd of October at 10 a.m. ET at Route 12 Unova. Combee and Beedrill are up for grabs to catch, and a shiny Vespiquen is the prize. Beautiful Pokemon. If you want to go through all the details of these events by your own, step by step, you can also find these on the official PokeMMO forums. Always go to the PokeMMO forums, go to official events. You can find all of these in great detail. Next up, Wailmer. The 5th of October, Sunday at 1 p.m. ET at Route 129 in Hoenn. Probably it's a fishing hunt. I think the only way you can ever encounter Wailmer is by fishing, if I recall correctly. You can catch Wailord or Wailmer for this event. There are some nature bonuses right here. And then there is a shiny Wailmer up for grabs. The shiny Combee, this is like a couple 100-hour hunt. And then Wailmer is like a 69-hour hunt now post chum buckets. So you could save tens or hundreds of hours depending on if you can win these events, right? Next up, a new journey. This is on the 10th of October, Friday at 2 p.m. ET, Route 201 in Sinnoh. So it's very early game in Sinnoh. You're going to be catching Bidoof, Starly, and Mime Jr. I do not recommend popping lures for the Mime Jr. I would just go for Bidoof and Starly. Nature bonuses here. And then there is a non-shiny Turtwig, Chimchar, or Piplup of your choice that it will be 6 times 31. So it's still a great prize, 6 times 31. Also, you can always win free RP. Right now is the time to win free RP. If less people are playing, if PokeMMO is in a bit of a lull period, if people are taking a break before event season, if people are saving their Pokeyen before event season, right now is the time to win catch events. I just placed 3rd place in a catch event. Like, you know, if things are getting quieter, that's your chance as a player to take advantage of certain markets, take advantage of certain catch events, things like this, and definitely check them out. Those are the 3 Western World catch events. We also have this unofficial event. Now, this is an unofficial event just hosted by a player who is trying to add to the community, add to the game, especially during a pretty quiet time in the game. Very generous of him. This is Pokedex hosting his Safari Showdown. This is not only a catching contest, not only a catch event, but it's a catch event attached to a raw PvP tournament. And you do not need to be good at PvP to participate in this. I think that's like the really fun part. You don't have to have PvP experience. I think this is like a really fucking cool event. One of my favorite events being held right now. You show up on Saturday, I believe. It's every Saturday at 5 p.m. UTC. You can go to Channel 3. I've been trying to go to Channel 3 to see everybody there. I think it's a really good communal event. And then you catch Pokemon for an hour. And there are prizes for the highest, you know, for the catching event. which is 7-day donor statuses, golden tiger mask. Second place is a shiny charm plus a 5x 31 competitive Pokemon. Third place is a shiny charm, you know, things like that. Oh, sorry. I'm actually, excuse me. The catch event rewards are Sweet Ocarina and a Richest Charm for highest IV catch, and then lowest catch is Shiny Charm and Richest Charm. So you can still win some good benefits from just catching, and then if you do the PvP, here's the PvP rewards, which is once again, you don't need to be good at PvP to do this. It is raw PvP. You can't EV train, you can't XP train, you can't use items. Like, it's just battling the wild Pokemon against each other like Arceus intended. Okay, it's a lot of fun. Next up, we have some Chinese catch events. These really matter for Australian players, graveyard shift workers, or anybody on a non-traditional schedule. I severely recommend googling like 1600 Beijing time to my time zone, you know, on Google, your time zone, right, and seeing if these work better for you. A lot of people complain about not being able to make it to certain catch events at Pokemon. They say a lot of times like the schedule is not great for them. I totally respect that. That's tough. If that's the case, maybe check if these events work for you. I think for Australian players, this is the strategy. Saturday, the 4th of October, I use Google Chrome translations to get these events to you guys. On the 4th of October, Saturday at 1600 Beijing time. Also, if someone could translate, I actually asked, the Kanto region Goshinima open space. I don't know what this is. Let me actually check in game under Meowth to see if I can figure out where this is at. Because this is one of the few translations. Is it Canyon Entrance? Open space. Gonoshima open space. If someone could translate that, I'd really appreciate it. I'm guessing it's something like Canyon Entrance. Maybe Five Island Meadow. Savalt Canyon. It's just Meowth. It could be a few different things. Ruin Valley, Treasure Beach. I'm honestly not sure. But anyways, Chinese catch events. Meowth is the only catchable Pokemon, and there is a shiny Meowth up for grabs. We're going to quickly run through these. Next up, on the 5th of October, there's a lot. There's like so many catch. There's like 8 catch events. 9? There's like 9 official catch events coming up if you count the Chinese ones, which is fucking crazy. October 5th, Saturday, 1600 Beijing time. Johto Safari Zone in the Marsh Swamp, the Swamp Zone. Coughing is the Pokemon up for grabs, and then a shiny Coughing. Beautiful, beautiful shiny. Next up, a Marl catch event on the 10th of October, Friday at 1600 Beijing time once again. Hoenn, Route 104. Marl's the only Pokemon catchable, and you can get a shiny Marl. Beautiful shiny once again. And then next up, Scraggy. I love this Pokemon. On the 11th of October, Saturday, 1600 Beijing time, Unova Route 18. You can get yourself a Slippery Boy is the translation, which is just perfect. You can get yourself a shiny Scraggy, an amazing Unova Pokemon. And then now, that's all the catch events covered. We have some community posts, suggestion box posts, and a little bit of developer communication that I think is kind of interesting. Let's jump into it. Firstly, this is a big deal. This is Vuku. This is the only PokeMMO developer to ever be added onto the development team, like post like 2013. I've never seen them hire another developer other than Vuku. And he was hired almost entirely to code iOS from my understanding / the community's understanding. We obviously don't know it, the entire dev's brain, but he was hired mostly for iOS, from my understanding. And he almost never comments and almost never, he's just doing his own thing. He's hired for a job, he does his job, right? I've never seen him comment on the forums like this, and I thought it was really interesting. Someone made a forum post saying, make theme mods update proof. Please implement a system to decouple theme mod assets. This is out of my depth, let me qualify. Decouple theme mod assets from the core game update so that theme mods can remain functional for longer without constant fixes every patch. Thank you for your consideration. And Vuku responds, how much your theme breaks every update depends on how you structure it and how much you change. If you import our base theme into your custom theme and then apply minor changes on top of it, your theme is unlikely to majorly break on every patch, similar to this example mod that he posts. We plan to make this process easier in the future. However, if you duplicate your theme completely, you will have to track and apply changes every patch. Furthermore, if you change parts of the UI more significantly and we update that UI, you will always have to adjust your theme after an update. That makes sense to me. There's no way we can prevent this. Yeah, I thought this was really interesting. And someone noticed, like, I think it was someone noticed. Yeah, like, first time I've ever seen Vuku comment on the forums. Crazy. I've never seen it either. And I thought it was cool to see. I've not never seen it, but pretty rare. Very, very rare. Very, very, very rare. So shout out to Vuku for communicating, letting us know. Next up, this forum post, I haven't even read it in full, but this forum post, dude, my love, my heart goes out to you, Heart Dust, okay? This forum post was presented so fucking entertainingly, in my personal opinion. Wow, okay. Alpha contour tint? I don't know if they meant color. Alpha color tint is what I'm gonna phrase it as. Wow, friend, a swarm of Zangoos just appeared in Hoenn. Let's all go. Boo, this guy stinks. I know that no one wants to miss out on something like this, so now that I have your attention, I wanted to introduce you to my idea. Color birders, I mean dye for alphas. These dyes can be obtained in several ways, and someone on the balance team would be responsible for them. They would be used to paint the outline of a Pokemon's alpha. I think this is pretty cool, man. It's like a small little visual vanity thing. Personal expression in MMOs is always crucial. Could you imagine all the different variations, all the different, I don't know how it works with Shalphas. That's the one, I mean, if you could custom change your Shalpha, that'd be pretty darn cool. Anyways, whether it's obtained in small quantities from swarms or to create swarm hunters, or in addition to this new raid mechanic, I think something could be great in this game. And what will they do? Excellent question. What they'll do is they'll change the color of the Pokemon's alpha outline, giving it personality and a unique touch from the trainer. I think this is cute, man. I think it's a cool little thing. Now, do we want it is a good question. Does it fit in PokeMMO? And do we want every single Pokemon to be color changeable, like every alpha, right? It would give an extra benefit to keeping a Pokemon in alpha, because right now there's not a whole lot of benefit to keeping a mon in alpha besides its ability to breed with other alphas and keep it alpha. But then why would you want to keep it out? Like, you don't need to keep it alpha for hidden abilitiness. It's just a visual or a chance at a Shalpha. Of course, this will leave us with some slight questions like, will the yellow tint of the shiny alphas lose value? Yes and no. I mean, of course it implies the existence of yellow tint, but that's the default color of the Shalpha. I don't think it's any less prestigious. It could even be the case that a tab could be added for the alphas, and several selectable tints could be added. I feel like you would just add it to the like particle effect tab and have to like make that smaller. That'd be my guess, would be like have tints be a part of the particle effect tab. I could see people being against this idea because it's too what's the word? It stands out. It's very colorful. It might be a little too much. I can understand this. I can understand that if you're against it, but I kind of like it. There's my idea. I hope you liked it. Maybe someone's already suggested it. Thanks for my attention. I thought it was neat. I just thought it was a cute little suggestion made by an earnest player who made it really fun as well. I thought it was a neat idea. That's it. That's it. That's the color suggestion. Next up. Now, when I saw this title, I didn't think much of it. Give me one sec. When I saw this title, I actually didn't think much of this, okay? Please implement a standard team chat tab. I didn't really know what they meant by that, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to click on the post, give it a read, see what they're saying. Heyo. Bert says, heyo, I think it would be super useful if the game had a default extra chat tab that's already set up for team chat with both whispers and team included. I totally forgot that it's been so long since I've done this, but when you load up PokeMMO for the first time, there's no team chat. There's no team chat tab at all. You have to like go into the settings of the game and go over to like the gear icon, which is already really unintuitive and really hard to find for new players. Most players don't even know how to like interact with the chat at all. When I've done videos in the past of trying to give away like new players' favorite Pokemon to them. Like, so I would go and I would whisper someone and be like, hey, nice to meet you. Welcome to the game. What's your favorite Pokemon? Someone said like Riolu and I gave it to him, right? It's like a cute little fun thing that doesn't really, not much, right? But most of the time I found that new players don't know how to whisper you back. If you don't whisper a new player, they don't know how the whisper function works. They don't know how to go to chat, switch around. They don't know how to, there's no tutorials in game for this. There's no explanations. The PokeMMO chat is really unintuitive and archaic. It's pretty rough. Back to what he was saying. When I was recruiting recently, I noticed it gets kind of annoying to always explain to new people how to set up a separate tab for this. Having one by default would make things so much smoother, especially for new players, and it would save a lot of time during recruitment. Greetings, Bert. It's just, yeah, I think there's a whole argument for like the chat system in PokeMMO needs, I want to say like a full rehaul, like a full, but that's a quality of life thing that, oh man, I say quality of life, but it's almost pretty integral to the beginner's experience. I would push it up above just a simple quality of life update. So I'm really glad Bert brought this up. Next up, I thought this was interesting. Really simple forum post. Someone just made a forum post saying, hashtag make the flaming motorcycle become a limited item. So if you don't know, I love the flaming motorcycle. It's a very fucking cool item in game. Okay, let me show it really quick. I love this item. It's so cool. It's actually my favorite bike vanity in the entire game, personally. And the flaming motorcycle is a seasonal item, which means it returns every single year, every single Halloween. That means that it can never really go up in price. So it has like a pretty a static price for the most part. It can go up and down between like 3.4 and like 4.2 mil, depending on the price of RP. But flaming motorcycle is a pretty static price in terms of Pokeyen. That makes it very accessible to all types of players. This guy wants it to be limited. I understand wanting a super cool vanity like this to be limited, but at the same time, I definitely agree with Rach's response. Now, I'm a big fan of making things hard to get, making things long-term. MMOs are meant to be like these long-term journeys. Like, I'm a big fan of making things a long-term challenge. Don't get me wrong, but not everything needs to be that. And that's where I think Rach's response is totally based. It's okay for nice things to be reasonably obtainable by new players. We don't plan to change its availability. I think it's perfect. Also, the other thing is changing an item from seasonal to not seasonal is real, or vice versa, is really bad for the market. Yup, Karoshi took the words from my mouth. I don't think changing from seasonal limited or limited to seasonal is cringe. I don't think maybe I'm not a huge fan of changing items like from seasonal, or I mean Karoshi was saying the same thing, which I super agree with. Karoshi, the driest player in PokeMMO history, for those who don't know, 475,000 encounters dry. No, you're perfect, Karoshi. It's too fucky wucky for the market. You don't want to think that something is seasonable. Imagine being a new player, saving up for a flaming motorcycle, and you're gonna buy it this Halloween, and then all of a sudden it becomes not seasonal this year. Like, that'd be so terrible. Like, there's a lot of, not even considering the overall market ramifications. I think the flaming motorcycle is a cool item. Now, part of me, do I wish it wasn't seasonal from the get-go? A little bit. I think it'd be cool to have that item be limited time. A little bit selfishly, because it would have been an amazing investment. This would have been an insane investment. However, it doesn't need to be. We have plenty of rare items, plenty of rare things. I'm excited to see more mounts become rarer in the future. I think it's something I'm looking forward to. I've been saying for a while, I love the idea of a mount being obtainable through some sort of like PVM activity during an event, not just opening sealed product and not just buying it with RP. I love the idea of, if you beat the Darkrai raid, you get like a Darkrai mount or something. I think that would be really fucking cool, and we can get some really valuable items and reward players for actually building skill and being good at the game. I have a lot of interest in that. So that's all the stream recap intro today. I'll see you guys with any good questions from chat. Let's go ahead and jump into the actual gameplay. Dude, wow, what a good question. Is PokeMMO or old school RuneScape more time consuming? I fell in love with Pokemon because of your videos, and I just heard you play OSRS. Is it worth to dabble into? I'm going to be so honest with you. I think I haven't played old school RuneScape in like 4 years, so I could be wrong. I think old school RuneScape is more time consuming. I think it is. I think it's why, like, people that come from Pokemon to Pokemon, PokeMMO's grinds are all perspective, and nothing's really correct or wrong, right? Nothing's right or wrong. People that come from Pokemon to PokeMMO are like, holy shit, these grinds are intense. And they are intense. I'm not trying to belittle the Pokemon grinds by any means. But if you're familiar with RuneScape, I think a lot of people come from RuneScape. Depending on how you play, depending if you were a main account, if you PVM'd. I was a Ultimate Iron Man skiller in RuneScape. I had a maxed main account where I played fantasy HP, and I was the 74th person to max an Ultimate Iron Man in old school RuneScape, okay? I wanted to be 73rd, but I freaking missed it, okay? And it's crazy to give an idea of, like, the average shiny hunt in PokeMMO is 30 hours, okay? And people complain about it constantly. People, Shinies too hard, blah, blah, blah. The like fastest, they're kind of comparable. The fastest skill to 99 on an alt, I'm trying to think of I don't know if I have a comparison, but I remember the toughest grind for me on an Ultimate Iron Man was 99 prayer. It took me about 500 to 600 hours. I lost a lot of games. It took me about 500 to 600 hours of pest control to get 99 prayer on my Ultimate Iron Man, and that was one of the most insufferable grinds I've ever done in my entire life. I hated it. I'm trying to think. I think OSRS grinds are worse, personally, are like longer, not worse, longer. They're better. They're more mending to the soul is what I would say. You know, they're better in that regard, but they're longer. I think OSRS is longer personally, but it depends. It depends. So when we're content in OSRS, I usually don't like when people say PokeMMO doesn't have enough content. I think it's a sandbox game, there's plenty of content. However, OSRS absolutely has more content than PokeMMO. It's not even close. I would never disagree with that. The game has been out for so much longer. Like, thinking about it, RuneScape's been out since 1996 or 7 when it was Devious Mud, right? And then it split off into old school RuneScape in like 2014, if I recall correctly, 2013, 2014. So then it's also had like a long sense. It also has more resources, more developers. Yeah, RuneScape definitely has more content than PokeMMO, for sure. Yeah, great question. Lots to talk about between the comparisons. It's interesting. The grinds are very comparable. If someone said they thought the PokeMMO grinds were more than RuneScape, I wouldn't be like, oh my god, no, that's blasphemy. I think they're pretty like comparable in some ways, but I think there's more to do in RuneScape. I think that is the main truth of it. Great question. Thanks for asking it. Okay, someone wanted to flex this Torkoal, and I love that, dude. It looks so good. The gold Torkoal with like the sparkles coming out of it when you open it up. Very, very beautiful Torkoal, and amazing stats. Wow, I hadn't even seen the stats yet. Is this plus defense? You could even like use this like Torkoal's Spadef is already pretty rough, so you just use it as like a defensive wall anyway. You could act, but it's 16 defense. It's like so 0 speed. This is wild caught. This like almost looks bred. Because the stats are really good and really good placements. The nature is like kind of usable, even though you wouldn't normally want like a gentle or lax. And the speed being low is actually really good, because then, yeah, the 0 speed is actually really good, because then you set your weather last and can play it in a trick room team where you often would. That's a really fucking beautiful Torkoal. So he wanted to show off that, which is awesome. Congratulations, Dusty, on an amazing, beautiful wild caught Torkoal. But then someone else whispered me, no, he clicked, no, he put it away in his boxes. I wanted to show it off, bro. Perio sent me. I'm gonna show it on my screen the best I can. He put it away so fast. Shalpha Lucario, 2 Encounter Shalpha. I wanted to see this, bro. I'd love to, if you could link it back to me. I would love to see it. I can't see it for sure, but 2 Encounter Shalpha is insane, dude. Okay, dude, there it is. Master Ball Shalpha Lucario. Oh my goodness. Is this hatched or is wild caught? It's level 74. It's like definitely wild caught. He's EVing it. 85s in every stat, I bet. 3 times 31. Attack and speed. I mean, that's like, it's docile, obviously, but like it's you could use it. Let's see the Are you serious? Holy fuck. I'm like this might be one of the rarest shinies in game. Holy crap, dude. This literally might be, it's probably one of the rarest, if not the rarest, low encounter shiny in the game right now. Not only is it a Shalpha, it's like one of the more sought after, it might be one of the most sought after Shalphas in the entire game. After 2 encounters. It was 2 days ago. I thought he meant 2 alpha encounters, not total encounters. It's fucking total encounter. So he got a shiny, and then 2 encounters later, got another shiny, and it was a Shalpha. You can't fake that number. Like that is, my brain's not computing it. It's still, that's insane. That's one of the rarest shinies I've seen with the new encounter counter in PokeMMO. Congratulations, dude. Okay, Zillevon is so nice. He said, just wanted to thank you for how often you try to make sure new players don't feel FOMO. I always have a bad daily chore, like FOMO type of feeling, which is fear of missing out. But I took the weekend off of doing Jimmy runs, etc., and I feel amazing. I feel like I could do a better job. You're being way too nice. I feel like I am like, hey, guys, I try to get people to prepare ahead of time so they don't. I try to prevent FOMO from happening by telling people, you know, do your Jimmy runs now, prepare now for the Halloween event so you don't miss out on Halloween event stuff, yada, yada, yada. But you bring up a great point, which is that there is no activity in the game that is worth doing if it's going to burn you out. There is nothing, there is no activity, there's no efficiency, I don't care how efficient it is, there is nothing in the game that is worth doing if it's going to cause you to consistently have less fun long term. The point of gym reruns, people sometimes lose track. The point of gym reruns is to make enough Pokeyen to where you take care of your Pokeyen. So you can do the other fun stuff, like build a PvP team or spend your money how you enjoy, right? Your gym run is kind of your chore, right? But if you're doing your chore every day and you don't actually spend your Pokeyen on anything, you just like time swipe horde hunt for free near a PC, you don't need to do, even if you find it miserable, you don't need to do your chore every day. You don't need to do your chores every day in PokeMMO. PokeMMO, it depends on where you're at with the game. Sometimes treating the game like life and getting your chores done because you really care about long-term efficiency and long-term awesome, but not everybody cares about that as much. Some people just want to come home from work, play a video game, and have fun, which PokeMMO is not always the game for that, to be honest with you. But it can be if you want to just time swipe horde hunt or play PvP or randoms PvP or whatever, or play storylines, whatever you want to do. I try to teach people, I always say, I try to teach people the efficient strats and then how you enjoy a game, how you get maximum in my opinion, at least in my opinion, how you get maximum enjoyment out of a game, out of any video game, is finding what percentage on the bar works for you between efficiency and fun. And you might say, oh, why not just go for 100% fun? The problem is if you go for 100% fun, you end up kind of losing your own enjoyment. If you go for 100% fun, oh, then you have a bad like Pokemon build, you get stuck at the Elite Four, you get stuck at like the Flying Gym and Unova, like you can't go 100% fun usually in games, because usually it's going to prevent going 100% fun can actually prevent you from having fun, if that makes sense. That's why fun is not the best word on that part of the scale. But you want to find like, okay, where do I reach my peak enjoyment of PokeMMO? Is it at 30% efficiency, 70% fun, or is it at 70% efficiency, 30% fun? Like, how do I get my peak enjoyment? I think asking yourself what type of player you are, what learning about yourself and how you play video games is so important with PokeMMO. It really is a self-discovery game, as silly as it sounds. And it teaches you a lot about how you enjoy games and what you should do, what you want to do, and your type of player. And I think it's a beautiful, 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 beautiful thing. So you're being too nice to me, Zelivon. I could do a lot better, but thank you for the compliment. This is a great question. How important is it to get Zapdos and Entei next month before the Halloween event? If you're an Iron Man account, I'll do it on a scale of 1 to 10. If you're an Iron Man account, I would say the importance of getting Zapdos is like an 8 out of 10. I would say the importance of getting Entei is like a 6 to 5 out of 10. 5 to 6 out of 10. If you're a main account or normal, I would say it's much lower. I would say if you're a main account, the priority of getting Zapdos is like a 6 out of 10. Now Zapdos is the most powerful legendary in all of PokeMMO, but you don't really need to hunt your own legendary. In terms of efficiency, you actually don't want to hunt your own legendaries on a main account. It might even be lower. It might even be like on a main account, it might even be like a 3 or a 4 out of 10 for Zapdos, and then like a 1 or a 2 out of 10 for Entei. On a main, you're asking for the efficiency answer, not the fun answer. So please don't kill me yet, chat, okay? The efficiency answer is that it's not that important to go for legendaries on a main account. You don't really need them aside from OTs as an OT requirement for raids. That's it. But if you can fill out your other team, your other raid mons with other OTs, you have other options. Like, you just really, legendary hunts on a main account are mostly a completionist thing. They take about 20 hours per hunt, and you could just buy them off the as a main account. You just buy them, right? Why would you hunt Zapdos on a main account that takes 20 hours when you could just go, on average, when you could just go buy one for 3 hours, less than 3 hours of gym reruns, right? Jimmy run for 3 hours and buy Zapdos, or hunt it for 20 hours. You pick, right? Moltres is 1 hour of Jimmy runs. Zapdos is the best case scenario as well. Moltres, you could do one Jimmy run for 1 hour or 20 hours of hunting, right? Entei, you could do let's say 3 Jimmy runs, 3 hours or 20 hours of hunting, right? You only go for OT Legends mostly as a completionist thing and for fun. It's mostly for fun and for completionist. or if you want to fill out some sort of requirement for OTs for raids. But I would recommend just trying to breed. You would always just breed other mons before. You would make the money to breed the other mons to fill out your... You only ever need... The maximum OTs you need for a raid, from my understanding, is four OTs, I believe. And that's only for, like, the highest end Darkrai raids and the highest end Heatran raids. Most raids only require 2 OTs, I believe. Some higher star ones require 3. But, like, the only ones that require 4 OTs are, like, the super high-end raids. So it's really not that efficient for main accounts to hunt legendaries, but it's a fun... I recommend doing it. I think legendary hunting, not even recommend doing it, legendary hunting might legitimately be one of the most crucial updates to the game. Even though it's not an amazing piece of content, it's so crucial because legendary hunting might be the best update for casual players in a very, very long time. It does 2 things, or maybe 1 thing. It gives people 2 things. It gives casual players legendaries, which casual players love, and a lot of people just love. And the second thing is it gives direction. Legendary hunts are it's almost an intro to shiny hunting. Legendary hunts are like an intro to grinding in PokeMMO. If you do a legendary hunt and you enjoy it, you'll probably enjoy PokeMMO. If you do a legendary hunt and you hate it, you might not enjoy it. But it depends. I don't even enjoy legendary hunts that much, so it depends. But legendary hunts were one of the first, I think, directional pieces of content that like drew you in a certain direction to go do a certain thing. And I've always said Pokemon has a ton of content, but we need more direction at endgame. We need like the achievement diary, achievement logs, some sort of collection log, like things that players can shoot for and know how to achieve. When they added, one of the best updates they ever did was adding ability patches and Mount Silver, because it gave players the goal of completing their Pokedex. Prior to those, you could complete your Pokedex in PokeMMO, but there wasn't really a reason to. You could do it; it was a piece of content, but there wasn't a direction. But when they added Mount Silver, it was one of the best updates ever. Like Johto ended up one of the best updates ever because it added not only a new region, but it added an objective, a direction, a direction for players, and that was huge. We need a little bit more. We need a lot more direction in Pokemon, in my opinion. Wait, is that true, Paisley? Is it possible to get a 0 encounter? Wait, that's insane. You're telling me it's possible to get a 0 encounter shiny Pokemon in PokeMMO? So apparently the only way, that's so crazy. The only way to get a 0 encounter shiny in PokeMMO is you could be at 0 encounters, don't get any wild encounters, and then go buy game corner Pokemon over and over and over again. Yeah, I might want to test that, honestly. Because it's just so funny, the idea of that. But if you could technically get a 0 encounter shiny Porygon if they don't increase the tracker. That's so interesting. Would it say 1 if you eventually got it? I don't know. But if it doesn't count as a... I don't know if it would say 1 or 0. It is true, but I have not seen... Yeah, because no one... Yeah, does it. Not seen it, but doesn't change your encounter number? Dude, someone needs to be the first person to get a game corner shiny and see if it says 1 or 0 on it. That would be like one of the rarest shinies in the entire game. That would be unbelievable. Great question. Sad answer. If changes were made for the Halloween event, would it be announced before launch or as it drops? It would be announced as it drops. Maybe in the dev blog or just the players finding it out for themselves in-game. We never get any information on stuff like that. It is always... The devs just drop it. We gotta explore and there's a beauty. There's a beauty there. Like PokeMMO is probably one of the few games left where the developers don't give you a heads up and don't tell you all the information when they change the game, and you get to discover certain new things. That is frustrating and not fun for certain things. Don't get me wrong, but I will say, to credit them, one of the best experiences I've ever seen in PokeMMO, or multiple of the best experiences, are when they add something they don't tell us and we get to discover it in live time. When the first alpha Crobat raid happened, the first alpha spawn happened, it was madness. There's some Pokemon sprite in the overworld, and when you battle it, it has a red glow. What the fuck does that mean? Like, nobody had any idea, like, what... It was craziness. It was like... Everybody was logging on. It was to see this weird new Pokemon that nobody knew what it was. Oh my god, it had hidden ability access. What the hell? Like, blah, blah, blah. Or like then, or... That was one of the coolest moments. One of the other coolest moments was secret shinies. Could you imagine? They added secret shinies to the game and they didn't put it in the dev blog. Nobody knew. And it wasn't until someone listed a shiny Weedle on the GTL and it had a different logo, a different little icon. And everybody was like, what the fuck is that? It has a different particle effect, a different like sound effect. What is this? What's a secret shot? It was so exhilarating, so exciting. Those moments are honestly what I live for in PokeMMO. But there is, you know, it's just there's positives and negatives sort of situation. It's a great question. You know what, fellas? I think it's a perfect time for this. Quick little break. I haven't hopped on the main account in quite a while, so let's head over to it really quick. I want to check markets. I want to check mostly my flips. Okay, perfect. Okay, I want to check my flips, see how things are doing, make sure my cash stack is right. I want to stay about above 50 mil or so heading into the event season. I still want to, even though I'm not playing the main account, I really want to make investments, and I really want to take this event season seriously when it comes to investments. We have some sales here we can go ahead and collect a few things, but a lot of unsold shiny flips. We're gonna go ahead and relist some of these. This Rarity, I'm probably going to keep the same price. If not, I'm going to grab it actually. Let me go to my inventory. I like the idea of doing a little bit of cleanup work on the main account. Wow, I haven't seen a lot of this stuff in a long time. Part of me wishes I got my shiny box full before, you know, moving on from the account. Just having a box of 60 shinies would go incredibly hard. Not going to lie. 60 OT shinies. That would go bonkers. But anyway, that's a reminisce for a different day, okay? Let me not get too distracted. There's so many Pokemon. Actually, it's crazy, like, going from the Iron Man to this account. There's just so many things hidden throughout all these boxes that I've forgotten about so much. But I'm going to go ahead and throw a lot of this stuff in here. Go grab that shiny Rarity, claim to party. Should I relist that? 3.39. I'm trusting my previous price. It might have been overpriced. I don't remember. I'm trying to do some quick relists on certain flips and just get my money right, get everything correct prior to it. Look at all these ocarinas. It's crazy. I haven't been on this account in so long. I want to make investments. This account would be a background thing from this point forward, but I want it to be, at least for the time being, I want it to still be, even though I'm not playing the account, this is a good, you know, tip for you guys. You can still make money on accounts you're inactive on. Flips are just so important, so powerful, so strong. Using the market to your advantage on a main account like this. I would absolutely love to still fund certain projects in the future, whether for guides, whether for giveaways for the channel, for the content. You need Pokeyen as a content creator, and fueling this is super important. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of that. What was this listed for? I didn't see the, I don't have to price it this one now. That's okay. I'm gonna relist this and just do a few small flips as well. Dude, I'm scared to check this Alpha Drapeon's price. I bet you that this thing is like 50k. I'm actually scared. I'm actually terrified. This was listed for 150k last time I checked it. Let's see what it's worth right now. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. The way that I haven't price checked in a long time. I'm out of the game, boys. The way I would price check this is I would go Jolly Nature is pretty important. 20, it's even 25 plus in these stats, but I'm going to start lower. I'm not going to include the double 30. I would do 20 Jolly, and you could either check Drapion itself or the egg groups. I would prefer to check Drapion itself first. Yeah, what did I tell you? It's like literally a 50k. That's insane. That's disgusting. I mean, to be fair, is this one underpriced? I would probably argue it is. I could buy this and flip them both like 100k. Maybe 120. Well, they really sell for 120. I kind of don't. Maybe 80 to 100. I'm gonna buy this one. This is the strat when something is, this one male, or they're both female. That hurts. I'm gonna buy them. That one itself. I'm gonna sell them both for 80. I think that's fair. I think it's a fair price. Both for 80. There we go. We're getting some good flip reps in. Our Tyrode already sold for 250k. Very happy with that. Big sale there. Why do you put it as 79,990 instead of 80,000? Great question. Bit of a habit, force of habit. Like you can see, all my numbers are 99. It shows up. What happens a lot on the GTL is you have Pokemon that are very similar, and they're both like equally good for different reasons. But it only takes the Pokemon being one Pokeyen cheaper for the buyer to be like, I'm gonna buy that, you know? Like if there's 2 Torkoals on the GTL and both are bold and both are like have very similar stats, maybe the 31 is in like Spadef instead of Spatak, you know, pretty similar, whatever. Maybe you care about bulk more, maybe you do want the damage more, like, you know. Sometimes that one Pokeyen difference, as silly as it is the difference maker and all that matters. Yeah. Knowing how to sell to people is super important in life and in PokeMMO. Like those little things get you a big edge on the GTL for sure. Okay, when I talk about finding niches in a market to make Pokeyen, I always say the Torkoal market is almost always criminally underserved. This is how many Torkoals exist on the entire market that have 20 plus in the stats that a Torkoal wants. There's 6 of them. There are only 6 Torkoals with 20 plus in every stat that except for attack. That's insane. That is crazy. This to me means that there is some really good room and profit margins for breeding Torkoals, man. You don't always, let's remove the 20 plus speed and see. There's still 35 is very few. That's a good point. Sometimes you want low speed on Torkoal. Still being 35 and then this being 20k and this being 80k for what, like that's the cheapest one with nature. 80k, this is, you could breed this with like a decent Torkoal in Dittos for like 20k. Like this is crazy. Maybe 30k. There's probably some real, I would check it out, boys. You want to find markets during slower times in PokeMMO. You want to ditch traditional money making methods, except for like do your Jimmy runs and trainer runs, don't get me wrong, but ditch traditional Pokemon and like look for the niches in the market. That's really fucking cool, you know? Alrighty though, fellas, I do think right here on the main account is where I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. Some quick flips coming in. Like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike if not. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO content every single day. Follow me on Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday. I've been loving getting back into streams this week more consistently. Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below if you're interested in that. If you want to go above and beyond and support the content, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal and Venmo donations go a very long way in allowing me to keep making this content. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy PokeMMO. I'm getting more and more excited. The excitement is ramping up for the upcoming event season. I hope to see you guys there. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace, Reno, fellas. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here, and I wanted to take this time to say thank you to everyone who goes above and beyond and supports my channel. Your names are all listed here. You make it possible for me to make helpful and mildly entertaining content for the game that I love and make it available for free for everyone to enjoy. Thank you so much for allowing me to even be here.